Hello, my name is Amanda Hardy, and I am the principal oboist of the Portland Symphony Orchestra. I am here today at my reed-making desk, where I spend hours making reeds and practicing, and I would like to show you my oboe, or have you meet my instrument, the oboe. The oboe is the highest of the double reed family, which includes the bassoon, the big contrabassoon, and it also includes many in the oboe family, the oboe d'amore, which is in the key of A, the English horn, which is in the key of F, just like the French horn, and not to be confused with the French horn, and also the bass oboe, which is an octave beneath this oboe and is also in the key of C. It's very big and very low, and not used very often. Today, I'd like to show you my instrument, the oboe. The oboe exists in three parts, except for the reed. We have the bell, which is sort of an ice cream cone shaped end to the instrument. And then we have the bottom joint, and we have the top joint. And if you can tell, the bell is big, and then the inside of the instrument, the bore, we call it, gets narrower and narrower all the way to the top, where the reed well is. And that's where I insert the oboe reed. The reed I spend hours making, literally from scratch every day, and it vibrates very similarly to the human voice. There's two little blades, and when you put air through it, it makes it sound like this. We call this crowing the reed. And then those vibrations go throughout the oboe, come out the bell and the tone hole, and creates what you hear as the oboe sound. So to make a reed, I start with a piece of tube cane. This is grown in France. I buy it in big bags like this, and I spend a lot of hours trying to select what are the straightest pieces of cane and the most correct diameter for what I need. If you can imagine, several of these pieces together form a stalk of cane, and that's how it grows, very similarly to bamboo. And then they harvest it and dry it out and chop it up, ship it over here, and that's what I buy. After I've selected what I think is a good diameter and a straight piece of cane, I then make it this length into, it's basically a third of the stalk that I will then soak and pass through the gouging machine. Here's a gouging machine. The gouging machine then takes more layers off, peeling more and more layers off that piece of cane until it's about this thick. And then I can soak it, shape it, fold it, and tie it onto a staple, we call it, which is the part of the reed that has the cork on it that I put into the reed well. And I call this a blank. So once I've scraped a little bit off the end of that tip, I leave it overnight, or I could finish scraping it if I have time in one sitting. Then in about 20 minutes, I can take all my tools here that you see and scrape it into a finished reed. And I come back to that reed day after day and do little bits more to it to try to make it into what hopefully will be a perfect reed, or at least a very good reed that is usable for me in the orchestra. So that's the oboe. Most of our life is spent making reeds, and then we also practice. I would like to share with you what the oboe sounds like in this beautiful oboe solo from Rimsky-Korsakov's Scheherazade. This is the second movement. I hope you enjoy it. And that's the oboe. I hope you choose to play it, and thank you so much for joining me today.
PSO Education Everywhere is sponsored by Machias Savings Bank. As one of the oldest and most firmly established community banks in Maine, Machias Savings Bank believes that life in Maine is exceptional and that your banking relationship should be exceptional as well. To learn more, visit machiassavings.bank. Our thanks to Machias Savings for sponsoring the inaugural season of Education Everywhere.